Here's a September update for my mixed reef tank. Pretty much everything is doing well. I've even added a few new frags, but there are a couple of issues I need to address. Last week I brought 6 frags back with me from a trip to Toronto. I brought them in my carry-on luggage and I wrapped them in wet paper towels, and they were all fine for 3 or 4 hours outside of water. This bird's nest is the only one that suffered some damage, and it was nothing to do with shipping. It fell on this chalice here and got stung out. I suspect this chalice is also stinging in this blastomusa here, since the one beside it is doing very well, and this is the only coral I have that's really dying. It's also possible the favia is reaching it. The other new corals are Cyphastria, which was the one I worried a little bit about. Get out of the way, clownfish. Cyphastria are deeper water, so I don't think they're exposed to during the tide as much as acros, but as you can see, it survived the trip without issue. I also have this millie here, which is nice and fuzzy. Hopefully it won't be long before it encrusts to the rock. This purple and green acro here. And another millie, which I'm thinking is going to be a pink. It's a little bleached, but it still has good polyp extension, so I'm willing to give it a shot. The other issues I'm having are these leathers here, which I guess it's a Kenya. It might be a colt coral. You can see this one has the nice blue base, and that's why I bought it maybe 3 years ago. But this is about as big as the colony gets. I have another colony here which isn't quite as nice, but started from it, and you can see the one piece right in the center is swelling up. That's going to detach any day now. And I have quite a pile of them over here. So I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I'm thinking maybe I'll start gluing them to the overflow. The only problem is if I put them horizontally, they're going to end up reaching for the light, and I don't know if there'll be more issues. But they're everywhere. Look, there's one at the back here. There's some on this rock here. There's a little tiny one over here. There's even one underneath the elegance. Another one here, and if we were to look at the back of the tank, there's all kinds stuck to the back of the rocks. So, I gotta really do something. There's not much of a frag market here, not that these are expensive corals by any means, but I would hate to throw them away, so I gotta figure something out. I also have some caulerpa growing back, and the coal tank seems to be eating it, so it may not be an issue. I used to have this in a refugium, and I had a display refugium which some of these rocks came from. It's taken a whole year for it to grow back, but it's coming along. These green mushrooms are also starting to get out of control. The couple in the front are really huge. I don't really have anything to put for reference, but maybe when you see the chromie swim by, you can see. But they're also all the way around the rock. But the problem is they're covering up some zoos, which you can see here. So I may have to try and cut a few of these off. It's a good problem to have when your corals are overgrowing. It's just I don't want to lose things because they've been grown over. These mushrooms here have also grown out of control, and they're on a rock here, but they've managed to reach the next rock. They still got some space, so I'm okay with that. I did move one of the toadstools down here, which is why the polyps aren't open. I irritated it by ripping it off the rock. But the other ones are all fine, so in a few days it should be fine. The Stylophora here, Pocillopora here is doing quite well. This started as a tiny ½ inch or so frag, and it's encrusted to the rock. It's branching out like crazy. More mushrooms growing out of control. My Gorgonian is also doing very well. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I do have this space here, but I'm kind of saving it for other corals. I'm in no rush to stock it. I don't want to stick the leathers or the mushrooms here just because I have space. I don't want to fill the tank with just a couple of corals. There will be other corals I want to get in the future, so that's why I'm leaving this rock open for now. And if you don't leave enough space for the corals, you're going to have problems later. that's really it for now. I have a fire fishing quarantine, which I hope to add in a few weeks, assuming everything goes okay. I've had him for a while, and I'll do another video on quarantine tanks later. And probably another video once I decide what I'm doing with these leathers and the mushrooms. Happy reefing!